Gamer Peep is having a hard time beating level 69 because you still haven't liked this video and subscribed. Hide and seek with my niece. My children are currently trying to murder each other because my 8-year-old son won't stop telling my 5-year-old daughter that her real birth name is Big Jim. In 3rd grade I loved Gangnam Style so much, and one time they played it over the intercom and I started sobbing from happiness, and I got out of my chair and started doing the Gangnam Style while crying uncontrollably. People asked if I was okay. My 7-year-old nephew just asked me, "Auntie, would you rather be a famous NHL hockey player or be stuck inside a Coke bottle for the rest of your life?" So what was your answer though? 4-year-old spent 10 minutes telling me about his grazed knee and how it really hurts, but when he showed me it looked fine. He got mad that I couldn't see the graze. Then he realized he was showing me the wrong knee. I was in 2nd grade and it was Black History Month. We had to do a presentation about a famous African American and I chose Kobe Bryant. I still remember the look on the teacher's face when I brought up the RIP accusations. I honestly had no idea at that age what RIP was, so I listed that as one of his accomplishments. I was told to stop my presentation. I'm unloading the dishwasher and feeding Louie, and she comes and sits here and says, "Mom, please give me space." Butch, there is a whole ace house, go in another room for space. Ha 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 ha. She found out that I have a name other than Mom. Just found her chilling here for over an hour. "Mommy, there's green goo coming out of my waffle." My 6-year-old son. This morning my son said his ear hurt and I said on the inside or outside. So he walks out the front door, comes back in and says both. Moments like this got me wondering if I'm saving too much for college. Listen here, you little shut. A boy was allowed to change his own name when he was 8 years old. Today, he is Dr. Loki Sky Lizard. Mom, son, a long time ago you were my age. Me, yeah I was. And you had a pens? No son. Toddler was asked to feed the cat. My Bible teacher asked the class what biblical character had a conversation with a donkey, and my little sister answered Shrek LMFAOOOO. My son's best friend refuses to eat the crust on his pizza rolls. Children should be in charge of naming things. When I was 4 or 5, I referred to cemeteries as die yards. My little sister versus the Roomba. Just told my kids I'm older than Google. They think I'm joking. The password. I deleted this app. I forgot my password. I hope Roblox removes passwords. Found this cursed drawing I did of my dad when I was little. Dad. It's 1 AM. My 8-year-old brother came in my room and told me we have to crack this random stone open because there might be a crystal in it that makes us rich. My toddler is really into smelling her feet lately. My little brother cried over this song once. The fact that you're screaming I wanna rock. He got so scared and he cried I don't have a rock. I'm sorry. The memory cracks me up lol. My son. Why is there no toothbrushing on the airplane? Let me just bomb this chute. Once when I was 6 I had a dream where I turned into a cow. Then I woke up and realized I was still a human, cried for half an hour. My daughter just learned how to roll from her back to her stomach. She insists on doing it all night and then crying until we flip her back over. Looking for. Hi guys. I have a children's birthday coming up and the birthday boy had only one request. He wanted a life-sized minion piñata at his birthday full of chicken nuggets. I'm at a loss of where to find this. Any suggestions would be appreciated. Thanks and happy new year. This kid has a future career in HVAC. My 9-year-olds launched their 4-year-old brother into a wall. He's fine by the way. This year marks the 10-year anniversary of when my hair got caught while making cookies. When I was younger, I used to think that white boys would grow up to be black women. Black boys would grow up to be white women and so on. 5-year-old me couldn't wait to be a black woman. Oh yeah, it's all coming together. 4-year-old made his sister a bracelet. The kids I babysit asked why I wanted to see Toy Story 4, and I said, because the first one came out when I was a kid, and they really asked if it was in color. Happy New Year's. My 9-year-old sister went on safari and printed 5 copies the first meme she saw for all of us. What were the dumbest lies you believed when you were a kid? I could not understand how all the death scenes in war movies seemed so realistic. So, I asked one of my older brothers how they did it. He proceeded to tell me that they empty out state prisons in the area the movie is being made, dress them up, and give them guns, and tell them that if they survive the filming then they get to leave jail after. I was told that at around 7, and I believed it till I was around 10. My 2-year-old hiding from us. My 3-year-old took a bite out of the toilet paper roll. My 4-year-old wanted to cook dinner. Damn near burned the house down in the process. So some kid sent us a care package with cards and this one thinks we are at war with the British. Cricked up at Target. Little boy's walking around hollering mama. His dad looks at him and says, buddy, that's not going to work here. We are gonna end up with 6 mamas. When I was around 4, there was an Asian kid in my class. My white recess ace asked, are you Chinese? She promptly responded no. I learned today that she was adopted from China. Kids keyed the car and wrote their names on it. Dad saddled with $20,000 credit card bill after daughters and game spending spree on Genshin Impact. I had a flashback to when I was maybe 9 years old, and sometimes when I couldn't sleep at night, I would grab all my pillows and stuffed animals and smaller blankets and stuff them into my largest blanket and tie it into a bundle. Then I would strap the bundle to my bed and lay down on the floor alone in the darkness of the night pretending I was a spider with a rare jace. When I was like 8 or something, people at my school would talk about Eminem the rapper, and I thought they were talking about the candy. So I said, hey, I like Eminem, and someone asked me what my favorite song was, so I said the Eminem song. Sully got in trouble, so I took the iPad away. I went to check on him and I don't have enough positive parenting experience for this, so I'm leaving. When I was in 1st or 2nd grade, our teacher gave us shovels to dig in the dirt in the playground/field area around the school and told us don't dig to China as a joke. Well, I and my dumb ace gang of children decided to try and dig to China. We spent months digging, and the hole was about our height, 4 foot each, and we all would get inside it and just chill. Well, one day, it got deep enough where we couldn't get out, and we didn't think to get on each other's shoulders because we were so intelligent. We then decided that we were to live like cavemen and eat worms for the rest of our life. Thankfully, after an hour or so, our teacher found us. XD, you're nearly dead. Little boy sitting beside Anne and I in our Spider-Man screening today when Jamie Foxx appears. It's Dwayne Johnson. I finally figured out how to keep my son out of my bedroom. It was a kid so this doesn't count, but I worked a lifeguarding job at a lake and a little girl came up to me livid that the lake had no waves like the ocean. She demanded I make some. So I pretended to call my co-worker and request waves. My son was bored, so he decided to throw my iPad out of the 3rd floor window and see what happens. Brilliant. Now I have to get the stupid screen repaired. My mom once found an empty cigarette box in my bag 4 years ago. My innocent ace didn't smoke back then and kept that empty box of Dunhill just because I found that sleek blue covering pretty. I was such a clown. No wonder she didn't believe me. This is a Google Play review for Talking Tom. I did not give it 1 star. It has full of ads. And when I'm sleeping I heard meow 5 times. Next day I'm sleeping I heard kill her 20 times. Next day I saw a man. Hacker. In the Tom eyes. Next day the Tom call me and say, help me I'm in Tom house he will kill me. I delete this game. Don't play this game. This is so dangerous. I'm saying truth. Trust me. Asked my 7-year-old to plug the iPad in. When my dad was a kid he went to a birthday party and at some point the parents of the birthday boy told every to grab a present and line up so they could take a picture. They mentioned that after the picture was taken we are going to open presents. He thought that meant that all the kids would get to open a presents, so he tore the wrapping paper on the gift he was holding. As soon as the flash on the camera went off, the parents were super confused and perhaps a bit appalled. The birthday boy was passed and my dad was super embarrassed and ended up going home early. Wind chill is -21 and kids just egg their house. Freeze instantly. Sister dumped all of the parmesan into a bowl and is individually dipping each noodle. Asked my 8-year-old to write a bedtime story. Once there was a king, a queen, a prince, and a princess. They liked to watch gory movies. Once they were watching a movie. Gore came out of the TV, but they thought it was a illusion. And now their planet is filled with gory stuff. The end. My young sister made Among Us with her hair that had shed off her. Among Us. When I was 7 we had a game called Chicken Fights. It was usually played in a pool, where you would ride on someone's shoulders and try to knock your opponent off of another kid's shoulders. One day, my dumb ace convinced everyone to play it in dry land. So we climbed up onto each other's shoulders and proceeded to attack each other. The winner of a fight would get to ride a taller kid and the winner would get a bag of Cheetos. These were rare in Kenya. One heated encounter was fighting on top of a climbing frame. I kicked this kid and he went tumbling off of it. Luckily he was alright, but I got a detention. Text from my teacher sister-in-law this morning. Playing Kahoot right now, and one kid made his name Mayonnaise 68. This summer my son drew multiple of these houses on our driveway. Young me had his priorities in order. 3 wishes. If someone magically granted you 3 wishes, for what would you wish? 1. More dingers and arms. 2. No hated or discrimination. 3. Infinite money of all countries for Mex. My sister tried to remove her teeth with this and was partly successful. My nephew drew his male teacher. Kids told my wife it's a rocket to the future. My nephew attempting the Iron Man landing. My male 27 daughter 5 made a sign for her room and then moved it to the kitchen as I was in the kitchen. No boys for today. Forbidden tap water. Demanded cereal on a plate with a fork. My brother took a headlight and flashed himself. He is now crying. Mom begs for help after son draws on his forehead with invisible ink that won't budge. When I was little, I loved the Narnia books. I also had no concept of the fact that other places had different words for things, even if they also spoke English. So in the Prince Caspian book, when Edmund says he has a torch with him, I thought he had a plastic toy torch. Something similar to what the Statue of Liberty has. Not a pocket flashlight. Which is what the book actually meant. He just locked himself inside a dog cage and does not know how to get out. The look that my brother gave me after I told him we couldn't have chicken nuggets for breakfast. Babysitter's kid, glad mine wasn't there today. Once I was at a birthday party when I was like 6 or 5, and I went up to this girl there who seemed to be 3 or 4 and asked if she wanted to play tag. Then this girl proceeded to scream her head off laughing while repeating tag, tag, tag over and over again. So I just walked away. So a few years ago in elementary school, when I was like 9, I walk into the bathroom and someone a grade above me is waiting in there. I say, "What are you doing?" And I quote, "I'm waiting for my friend." I like to hear the plop. "Just told me you killed deer." So I asked, "If you go hunting?" And she said, "Yeah, with her car, lol. I hope your car is okay." POV, you're 5 years old and think you're cool and can't spell. Yup. Act casual. When I was in the 5th grade, my best friend told me as a joke that him and his dad go out on Friday nights and make homeless people fist fight over raw meat. He said they'd walk around alleys with a cooler of raw steaks and just toss them in the middle and make them fight for it. And the thing is, for the longest time I believed him. When I hit like the 8th grade, I asked if I could come with him to see what happens, and he had no idea what I was talking about. I went into more detail, and when he told me, and he was just in shock. He couldn't believe that I believed him and laughed his ace off along with his dad. So for about 3 years I thought my best friend and his dad went out every Friday night and did that, and eventually I wanted him just to have fun. I was a kid once. That is cow shut. So my sister drew MLK, but decided to reverse the colors and. As a kid I didn't realize the price for gas was per gallon, and wondered why adults were so cheap. I was like my pops for real, driving 10 miles just to save 3 cents on gas. Some kid took a shot in the school bus today. The bus was delayed for around 30 minutes. I was in a Teams call with my class and I thought my cam and mic were off. So I started dancing and singing some Justin Bieber songs. A few minutes and my teacher said, "Could you mute? The others are trying to learn." And I was like, "Oh duck." Chugging hot salsa for 21 subs. My 7-year-old cousin who probably plays Fortnite texted this in the group chat on his mom's phone. I made this group for puzzle solving as I was very interested in riddles when I was younger. Who in the world made this? If I see them when I come to Pakistan I will fight them until they break a brain cell. I've lived my entire 25-year-old life up until just now thinking the words to We Three Kings was We Three Kings of Orient are bearing gifts, instead of We Three Kings of Orient are bearing gifts. I really liked this song as a kid because that word didn't make sense to me. And then once I got older I just didn't think about it anymore. But I still thought those were the words. Youngest son learned a poem from a friend. Roses are red, violets are blue. I have 5 dingers them. I die, one is for you. My 6-year-old brother bent this candle into 3. When I was about 4 or 5, I went to my great-granddad's funeral. I didn't really know him, so I wasn't upset, but my dad thought I was. He tried to comfort me, and you wanna know what I said? He's like a Barbie doll now. I said it, my granddad's very much dead self in a coffin. I then proceeded to wonder why everyone was crying at the fact someone died. When I was 9 or 10 I tied the drawstrings on my jumper to a fence and got stuck there until my mom came back with scissors from the shop. We almost missed our ferry because of this. When I was little, whenever I would be asked why I did something wrong I would reply with "I'm scared of the window." So I, 31 female, has 2 children. It was my daughter's birthday, Ava 6, and so my son, John 5, wanted to make her breakfast. They both really liked Pop-Tarts, so John tried to make one. John didn't think to use the toaster, so he used the ducking microwave. He was 5, so he didn't really know how to use it. He just saw what I did when making his food. So he put the timer at 8 minutes, and after a while he went to get me. I was so angry because the plate had melted and the Pop-Tart was beyond destroyed, and that was the first part of Ava's birthday. When you're a mother you have nothing. When you're an aunt you have lols. Nephew gets up and grabs his mother's water bottle. Sister, what are you doing? Nephew, I'm thirsty so I'm drinking from the family group water bottle. Sister, I have a core memory unlocked. In kindergarten, this little girl out of nowhere bit my chest like she's a freaking zombie for no reason. If you're still out there, duck you, crazy butch. I was about 7 years old and I had an Android phone and it was very dirty, and since my brain was small, when I was 7 I ran my Android phone under the sink and covered it in water thinking that it would clean it. This is how my son eats a banana. I was a stupid little girl. When I was 5, my dad is cutting bird's eye chili to put into soy sauce to eat it with his dinner. As he was cutting it, a tiny little white dot fell onto the table. I took it, and my mind is going, oh, what is this? Where did it come from? Maybe this will give me superpower. Cool. And I put it into my eye. Why? Maybe because I thought it will give me supervision. Instead I got super pain. It turns out it was the seed of the chilies. I'm a dumb-based little girl. One of the most painful thing I experienced as a kid. So when I was younger, about 5, I used to think that my stomach had different compartments for each type of food and drink and can separate each kind of food after it was chewed up. My idea was that there was a scanner in my body that would scan the food and separate it accordingly. But looking back at it, now that I'm now a sophomore in college studying animal science and feel dumb. When you win your first game of Ono, but you're mad that you ran out of cards.